Hi guys, Ray here from Two Gaming Girls, and in today's video we're going to take a look at some roads in Eco, as well as some vehicles and some other related items. Let's get started. So starting with the roads, we're going to cover each one: the dirt road, the stone road, and the asphalt road. We're going to cover what it takes to make each one, and then we'll go over the effects, both positive and negative. So starting with the dirt road, we can see the road, this basic shape here. It's on a 1x1 grid pattern to create the flat land. And then this ramp is a 2 wide by 4 deep and 1 high at the end. This is your basic dirt ramp. We have 2 here and 2 here, so 4 ramps to get this kind of a look. Up here at the top we have our workbench, and if we open this up, you can see that we can make dirt ramps using 4 dirt, and if we scroll down, we have the road tool. Now you need road construction 1 enabled to make this road tool, which I have in my hand now. This is what we use to actually pave the road, the ground, into a dirt road. You'll have to purchase this from someone in a store or trade with them if you do not have that skill. But once you have this tool, you only need 1. Now, of course, as you see my durability lower, this tool is eventually going to not break, but it's going to be down to 0 durability. That means that your calories will die themselves as you use it. Here's the trick with that. You can decide to continue using it if you want, as long as you have a healthy source of food income. So if you're willing to sacrifice your calories, keep the tool, keep using it. Now I would suggest only use it around your house, really close where you want to maybe pave a little doorway entrance, and leave the true road construction to someone with the skill. Now looking at the ramps themselves, you can see as we reach the top, we have this gap here. So a lot of people, because this doesn't require any skills, will put down ramps to travel around from one level to another, and then they leave this blank like this gap. What happens is later on you'll see when we move the wood carts or any other kind of vehicle right around here, the wood carts are going to get stuck, either most often on the way down, but sometimes even on the way up. And please don't try to do a turn, that will definitely get it stuck. So this is when the road tool comes in handy. We can do this and we create a nice transition from the ramp into flat area. The stone road is very similar. The flatland is created in a 1x1, only unlike with the dirt road, this is an actual block that you place down. So you'll have to dig up the ground and place it down like so. The ramp is also a 2 wide, 4 deep, 1 high block. We're going to rotate this and place it in. And what's also different about this is that you're going to need to use the Wainwright table, and you're going to need road construction level 2 to make the flat land, and road construction 1 for the ramps themselves. This now brings us to the asphalt road, which you're going to need road construction 3 to make the road and the ramp. We'll take a look at that now. What differs here is, just like with the stone block, this is a block and not just turning of the ground, so you'll need to dig in to place it, which is a little bit more time consuming. And the biggest difference is the ramp themselves, which the asphalt ramp is actually 4 wide, 4 deep, and 1 high. The other difference is, we're going to put this down. You see how it overlaps right there on the edge? It all fits nicely, but it's a slightly different look than this, which is where this flatland ends. We put the ramp down and it touches right where that flatland ends. So you know, it's all smooth, but it's just a slightly different look when you're trying to overlap them. You may at first think that you don't have it placed correctly, but you do. So before we move on to more of the road things, I want to cover how to place ramps. Let's say we want to ramp up not just 1 high, but 2 high. Of course, if we put down a single ramp, that is not going to be high enough. We're still going to run into this dirt wall right here. Let's pick this up. Now, the normal method that I often see is that people will put down dirt 4 long and 2 wide to mimic the ground underneath the ramp, and then they will place their ramp on that, which is aesthetically the better thing. But if you're in a hurry, another thing you can do is just put out dirt at the end, just one of them. Then we're going to rotate this over. Let it snap to the top and place this. Once it's placed, then we can add our second ramp at the bottom, and now we can go all the way up. Now I would come back and even add some siding to it so it looks like a little nicer ramp, but that's just me, the builder, because I don't like these holes. But if you're in a hurry and you're just trying to get a pathway to where you need to, this is a ramp solution. So now we'll look at our first vehicle. This is the small wooden cart. If we click up here in this body, you see if the green highlights around the arms, then we will pick it up and drive it. And if it highlights around the bucket part, then we can look at its inventory. So you can see from here that this small wood cart will hold 750 kilograms, which is a decent amount. It's a whole lot easier to use this to carry those heavy objects or anything like sand where you can only carry 10 of them or 1 of them. So this is a great method to move things around. Another trick if you're moving things around is to fill up all of this, plus still fill up what you can carry, because while you're driving you can still carry. Now we're going to look at the roads from here, and then we'll come back and look at all the other vehicles as well. So right now I'm rolling around the grass, and at the bottom left you can see my road efficiency is 100%. And it'll change between dirt and I think we have some forest soil over here. The grass is a little bit better, but this is about the speed. When we travel on dirt, we're still at 100%, but it's a little bit smoother of a ride. And of course we'll be able to use the ramps to get up, and we'll need that transition to get over the top of the ramps. Now let's back up and let's move over from our 100% dirt road to our stone road, and you can see that jump from 100% efficiency to 120. So I guess you know where this is going. We go to the asphalt, we go from 120 up another 20% to 140% efficiency on this. So we can, now that we're running a little bit, we can kind of move around a whole lot faster on this cart. So the small wooden cart needs a 2x2 clearance, so 2 wide, 2 high, and we will be able to drag our cart through this tunnel without any problem. The wood cart can also fit through a 2x2 area. The problem is if you pave the road, let's go ahead and pave this real quick. Just like that. Alright, so our small wooden cart can still fit through this with the paved road without any problems, but our wood cart is going to run into some space issues. While it could go through before, it now no longer can. And that is true regardless of what road material you use. So that's true with the dirt road here, with the stone road here, and with the concrete floor as well. Any of those, if you want to use them in your tunnels, then you're going to need to make it 3 high, and then this will be able to go through. Let's go ahead and test that real quick. I'm going to pave it just like we did the other one and make sure that we can still get through. Using WSAD, getting through, and no problem. So the small wooden cart can be crafted inside the workbench using woodworking 1, and the wood cart can be constructed inside of the Wainwright table right here with primitive mechanics 1. This is also where we move on to our next vehicle, the powered cart. And as you can see, it's going to require a little bit more. It's going to require a combustion engine. Let's go take a look at it now. So here's our powered cart. It looks fancy, and it is a whole lot of fun when you finally upgrade to this. We're going to click on the wagon side and look at the storage, and you can see it holds twice as much as the wood cart, 4 times as much as the small wood cart. This does have a fuel demand, so it requires petroleum or gasoline. We have gasoline in here. Petroleum is probably the easier one to use. Gasoline only gives you a little bit more as far as fuel, but it takes, I think it's 10k more joules, but it takes a whole lot more to make the gasoline. So I would stick with petroleum in the beginning. When we click on the front of this power cart, this bike part, we'll move up into the seat, and this is kind of what it looks like in your normal standard view. Operating it, you use the WASD, but W is forward, S is back, and you're going to want to do a lot of WA or SD to kind of get your turns. Make sure you use A and D, because this does not turn by moving the mouse wheel. It requires full WASD controls. Most people find these carts really difficult to drive, especially when you're trying to drive on a road, or worse, up a ramp and there's a cliff on the other end. A lot of people will tip their carts as they try to go straight, and then it falls over. So once this happens, you'll have to empty it out if it's full and pick it up just like normal. The problem with picking it up is that once you pick it up, you're going to lose that fuel that you had in its first location. So if we look at the fuel now, we have no fuel. Let's go ahead and give gasoline to myself and get this started again. So at all costs, you really don't want to have to tip this and pick it up, because that fuel supply, it costs a lot, either to make it or in currency to purchase it. So I would suggest either looking down at the wheel like this to kind of maneuver where you want to go a little bit better, or hitting B and opening your bag, opening this side window if it's closed, and clicking on third person. It's something I hope they add to the game by default when you're driving, to go into third person, but it allows you to see your wheel a little bit better and still see the world, so that driving isn't so hard and you can back up a whole lot easier. So to clear in a tunnel, you're still going to need a 3 high ceiling, but you're going to need a 4 wide clearance to get through. When you get through on the 3 high, if you're not in third person, let's take this off, you're going to sometimes get this little clip where it looks like you're kind of going through. You see that? You're going through the... So you might want to make it 1 higher just for look's sake, but you can fit through without any problem. So that brings us to our excavator, our last vehicle to look at today. And this is, of course, as you can tell, a digging tool. Now this thing is pretty massive. It's the biggest vehicle that we have so far, and it needs 4 spaces wide to go down a road. I would suggest even 5 sometimes to give yourself a little wiggle room. Maybe 6 if you're going to be ramping so it stays equal. When you go up a ramp and try to turn, you're definitely going to need a wide area to turn. Now there's a lot of different controls you're going to need for this vehicle. So we're in now, and right now if we do the WASD, well, W seems to, more than any other control, seems to go for. I'm going to back up and let go, and it continues. I'm going to hit W, let go, and it continues for quite a while. But just be aware that when you're ready to stop, your W may not be enough. You might want to even use your backup, your S. The wheels turn just the same way with the A and the D. You have free control to look around while you're in here. And if you want to start digging, what you need to do is hit the 1. Let's back it up a little bit. You need to hit 1, and that will lock you in place. So now if I hit W, the arm will raise and lower. I no longer go forward or backwards. If I hit the D, I can spin all the way around in a circle. The wheels themselves do not move. So this is your dig mode. It locks you in place and allows you to do all your digging. So now to do your digging, of course you can raise and lower with the W and the S like I just said, but you need to stretch out. That's something you're going to want to do with your left click. So I'm holding down left mouse button, and I'm sliding it up, sliding the mouse up, sliding the mouse down. That will extend the arm, and along with your W and S, you can get kind of the angle that you want. Now I'm going to, let me lift up a little because I don't actually want to dig. Yep, I'm going to left click and move my mouse to the left. That pulls in the dig, and I'll move it to the right. That opens it up for when you're ready to dump. So left, I'm holding down the left mouse button for all controls of the bucket itself. Left slide to pull in, right slide to pull out, up to extend, down to bring it in. So one thing you might want to do is when you're pulling down to also pull left, and you kind of get that digging motion. W and S to raise. Let's unlock the wheels and let's go destroy some stuff. Let's see. So one of the things you need to do, it's going to break ground really easy. You see as we're going, it's just automatically ripping into the ground just by touching it. If you're trying to break ore, you have to hit it first, break it into pieces, and then you can gather it. Alright, we're going to lock the wheels. We're going to test our arm. We go up, we come down, it's stuck. Now we're going to left click, and we're going to pull to the left, and then we're going to hit the W up, and we have, and you can see in our bar, with just that, we're going to get out and look at this hole. We have a full bucket full of dirt. Now, this dirt currently, you cannot just automatically drop it into a stockpile. That would be great, but it's not possible. Also, this is what tends to happen. Sometimes if you dig back too far, you destroy the ground that you're kind of sitting on, and then you get this. There's a whole lot of this going on servers. But we're going to click on the back side and take a look at the storage. So one method you can do is to just have a stockpile nearby and click and drag that into the stockpile. Or you can even tag team it, have someone that's steadily pulling the dirt out for you while you do that. Especially if you're actually searching for ore and not dirt, they can pull out the dirt and put it one place, pull out the ore and put it in another place for you. So let's pick this up because that's not going anywhere. Oh, that's the other thing I need to mention. This thing is heavy. So I want you to look at my back. Let me hit tab. We're going to hover over my inventory. As you can see right now, I have, I think it's the bear pack on, so I can hold up to 45 kilograms. This excavator itself, I believe, let's double check that before I say. It is, okay, it doesn't say, but it's 30. I just looked it up. It is 30 kilograms. So this is really heavy, and if you have anything else and your bag's going on, you're not going to be able to hold this. Alright, so I got a stockpile, and we're going to empty out all the dirt real quick so that we can go ahead and pick this sucker up. That was the other thing causing us, or stopping us from being able to pick it up. If you left click and drag right so that we tuck all the way up, like so, make sure we're all the way good and tucked, there we go. And then we lower it with S all the way down. We hit 1. We can drive through a 4 wide by 5 high space. You can go down into your tunnels as long as it's at least 5 high. So the last thing we're going to look at are construction posts. Here's one right here, and there's another one up there. We're going to look at how these can be used in conjunction with the contract board to have people make roads for you. So these can be made in the workbench, and I have a few more here. You can place them anywhere, and once you place them, you can name them. We're going to say point C. So this one is named point A. That one way up there is point B. So if we go over to our contract board and click on it, we can create a new contract, and we want one called Build Road. From here, you can pick the from, which we want it to be point A, and we select it, to the 2, which will be point B, and we select it. We can tell them how wide we want the road. Maybe we want it too wide. And we can tell them what kind of material to make it out of. You know what? We want to upgrade to some stone roads, and we hit OK. From there, you would use the board just like normal. You would decide how much you're going to pay and any other clauses, reputation points you want attached to it, and then post the job. After we give it the name. Make me a road. And now you have a contract, and somebody can come along and create this road for you. So that's all the vehicles for now. But in the last Eco Report number 2, the developers talked about new machinery and more vehicles that they wanted to add to the game. They already have some models up in the community, like a boat and a truck, and they're looking to more things like a mining machine or cranes to make skyscrapers. So there hopefully will be a follow-up video on this not too far into the future. If you have any ideas for what vehicles should be added to Eco, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Take care.